Good morning, guys. Afnan, alias for UPS. Yes, I'll do the levels on UPS. I actually have that on my list. I want to talk about it. But for SPX, guys, on Thursday, starting Thursday and Friday, we had nothing but red candles on the hourly candles. Now, some of you guys love playing calls, and in the discussion we were just having in the room, that you're looking to sometimes you say I should have held my overnight calls. In this market, when VIX is above 25, 27, I use 27 as reference. I don't personally recommend buying calls, right? But again, calls do end up going up a lot too. Sometimes that's up to you, your risk, your account, right? You're much better off playing hard resistances where your entry is much likely to be on your side, playing to the downside. But again, it's up to you which side you want to play. It's up to you. But if you were somebody who only likes playing calls, it's hard for you to buy puts, and that's fine. It happens with many people, right? In the past, it was the same with me. Some time back, that I only enjoyed buying calls more than puts. So the best way to do that is you have the hourly chart here, a lot of straight red candles on this reversal at 11:30, and then yesterday's gamma levels which we posted. We were right near the low implied volatility. Here is when you want to buy some calls for day trading maybe, and if you catch the bottom, you want to manage along this rip. You actually would have made a lot of money. SPX calls yesterday actually went up 700, 800% on the same day. Maybe you would have bought some different stocks, whatever you like, calls on those if they were also moving up, right? So look, go into a shorter time frame in the day trading, and if you read the spot gamma report, there was a clear it was clearly stated there that a rally is expected sometime. Why did they say that? Because they have all the data on the options. They know that there will be put selling going on beforehand. They know that the closures are going to happen, and that's going to push the market higher, right? Now, why do I say not to buy calls overnight and hold? Because if I don't see call buying on SPX, if I don't see them buying calls, heavy calls on SPX on certain equities, why am I gonna buy calls further out, right, and hold them overnight when there's no buying going on, when they're keeping those deltas neutral, right? So that's something that you guys need to understand. Many of you guys obviously probably disagree with my statement, or probably say, man, I missed this play because of his comment. I may miss you. I may make you miss some plays, or my comments might make you miss plays if you follow them. But in the long run, it's gonna help you, I think, much better. It's probably gonna save you a lot more, right? You might miss a couple of good plays, but I'll save you 10 other plays which you were gonna jump in, right? So in this market, when VIX is up high and then there's only put selling, this entire rally that happened yesterday, right? This entire rally, it was a selling of puts and dealers buying back their futures, right, and then pushing the market higher, right? These rallies are not sustained. They're not something legitimate. They don't hold. All right, so that's something that you guys need to understand. And this data is not over, right? This data that Spot Gamma gave me here, I still have in my head because it's going to play out for the coming days, right? So if you're somebody that's following Spot Gamma, you're reading the comments, right? You're basically you're basically trying to follow algos, and you have to remember, right? Not just for today morning's Gamma, but from the previous days as well, right? Now today, I'll just stay on the hourly chart. We do have the implied volatility. We still have a volatile day. The highest that they're expecting or around 43, 46, and in the low implied volatility we have near 42, 46, right? And I think if we reach towards 42.70, this will be the first support level, which is combo 5, right, where you can probably use this as support. And if we break lower, then you want to use this low implied volatility if you're somebody that buys calls only, roughly around 42.50 area, 42.50, 42.50, this zone right here. Basically, if I zoom in, if you're looking for a day trade and you want to buy some calls, would I buy right at the open near the highs? Hell no. I'd rather miss that rally. That's up to me, right? But you don't have to follow that. You can buy, sell whenever you want. That's up to you. But I would probably look at this zone right here. If you're looking for a bounce, this zone, now give yourself a 15-point room. Don't get scared on the next red candle if you do enter the play, right? Unless you're keeping your stop very tight. But this is the zone you want to play as support, which falls around 42.50, 42.55, 42.60ish, right? So between this 10 points, you want to try for calls, and then maybe there's a good chance that we might even retest this level first, 42. So you buy your SPY, whatever you scalp right here, and on this 10-point move up, that's a $1 delta increase on the SPY if you play SPY. If you play SPX, you must have a bigger account, then those options move a lot, obviously, right? But on SPY, this $1 move will give you the delta increase, and you can scale some profits out here with a stop loss with break even, so you end the trade green. And now with the other right? If one spike goes through this, we might chop. Who knows what's going to happen? Unless if it goes through straight, great, right? And then obviously you want to use the next resistance as your second scale up, which will be the high of the day from yesterday. And if we hold above the high of the day from the yesterday, then we have room all the way towards 43.40. And there are some resistance levels in between. You just go on the hourly candles, right? And you can mark the resistances and see how it goes from there, right? So that's how you want to manage your trades. And then let's say you enter now. If you bought calls here, when would you stop out? If we continue holding below these levels, let's say you bought calls here, there's a green candle, but they bring it back up, and you're seeing on a 3-minute or 1 minute or 5-minute chart that they're selling pops. And then if they make a new low of the day, right, two things are going to happen here. Either they're going to poke below and take it right back up, stop you out, or they're going to close here near the low of the day and then probably just continue lower. And here's where you would put your stop loss. Then as soon as they close near low of the day, you stop out of the position and then you let it reset. Maybe it goes up right after, and you know psychology will be shit. Why this? No, that's fine. It's these things happen. Sometimes you get stopped out and then the trade goes in your direction. All right, but you cannot get hurt by that. You have to be a robot. You have to let that trade go and wait for a new setup. All right, and don't try to chase after again, because then they'll probably drop the market again. That's when people lose accounts and then they mess up their psychology, right? So no emotions attached, and that's how I would personally manage it. So here's some tips that I'm personally giving you. On the daily, we had a reversal candle all across the board. A great looking reversal candle. Now the difference between us and most people in the market is they don't know why this candle was happened. Most are probably going to buy calls, go long here, and they could be absolutely right. Who knows? But we know that this rally was controlled by put options. There actually was not any buying done on the call side. All right, so this candle, like, I'm just going to avoid looking at it as a reversal candle. I'm going to use some tough resistances here and maybe add on to my shorts. The only thing now is that we have earnings. We have the big tech reporting starting today. Microsoft, Google, I believe, are reporting today. We have Amazon and Apple on the 28th. So the 4 biggest earnings that I'm watching. Facebook, I don't really care. The stock's dead for now. But these 4 names that I'm watching carefully. UPS, on the daily, very nice pattern here. Anyone that played options on UPS the last 2 weeks absolutely got screwed. In the pre-market, it's not up too much. Now they beat their earnings per share, they beat their revenues. I did not dig into the report, but HK did mention one comment that their parcel volume dropped by 3%. Now whose parcels are they mostly delivery, or could be, right? Amazon should be a big part of that, right? So we can already get hints that, okay, so there was a drop in the parcels. How does that affect Amazon? Let's see, obviously negatively, but then this has to do a lot more with other things, right? And then Amazon also has their own delivery system. Maybe that probably increased. So I have no idea. Now, UPS here is at a very critical, strong support zone. The only chart I would follow here is on the weekly. On the weekly, it's below the 50 MA, right? Let's see how long it stays underneath, right? Does it in the longer time frame, given them certain situations, I would use near the 50 MA. If it can get to 200, roughly 200, I would use that to add some shorts or maybe spreads to a downside, because I do think that it should come back again and retest 180 one more time, right? Because this is a very strong zone. I think it's going to come and retest at least this, and then once it retests this zone, then we see what happens, and then by then the 200 MA on the weekly will also catch up. However, if we break above the 50 MA, we continue holding up, and then it flags around here, then more upside is possible, definitely. But here it's in kind of no man's land. All right, it's very hard to play in this zone. All right, so I would be looking at a retest of 200 for puts, or a retest of this level 170ish, and then a potential call buying here, right? Very small and with a stop loss, obviously, because if it comes down here, there's a good chance that it's going to retest this support at least, maybe, which happens to be 150. Right now, UPS is a strong company, strong support, but again, expect downside, because when these stocks go down, they actually go down all at once. All right. Tesla being very stubborn. Sorry guys, I'm still not feeling well. It's actually worse from yesterday. Tesla is just holding sideways on the weekly, daily. It's just stuck to this $1,000 level, as we can see. Personally, I'm just going to avoid puts on this for now. The reason being is I did see some bullish flow in it yesterday, which is funny, far out into 2023 and so on. And I think until it does not give up this number right here, until it does not give up 970, I would avoid puts on it, right? Because it's holding sideways, it's just killing premium, right? It's killing premium, and I think it breaks down sooner or later. But so let's see when that breaks out. We'll jump back on it. But for now, for me, it's avoid upside. I'll definitely won't play in this market. But 970 breaks, then maybe I can look at some puts for a retest of the 50 MA again on the weekly. All right, Snow. Somebody mentioned Snow. very critical support level, but by looking at the chart, it looks like they're going to continue grinding this lower, I think, right? Now it broke this critical support right here, right? This was the lows of March, April last year, or May, right? They took those lows, right? Retested, came back up, they sold it right back up. That's usually very weak. Now, some people might tell you, oh, this is a nice little double bottom on SNOT, right? Well, it's a nice little double bottom, but on a longer time frame, this is a very freaking nice downtrend. I would use these pops if it comes back towards 200 plus. I would actually use that to buy maybe 150 puts out 3 to 4 months out. That's just me, right? Maybe it rips from here. Maybe this is a great support level. But given what's happened to the stocks like PayPal, right, that should tell you what's happening in the market. Came from 310 to 87. Don't be surprised if you see SNO at 87 in a few months, right? Until these things turn around, we don't get a clear structure. I cannot go bullish just yet. All right. That does not make me bearish. That just makes me wait on the line, just being patient with my entries and being very selective. And then we have a bear flag here, right, on Square Weekly. Let's see if it holds or not. Amazon, again, stuck here. When you guys zoom out on the weekly, you get to see. You guys see this from the breakout, the support that became. That's where it's stuck right now. The question is, do we hold above it or do we break it now? Right, the 200 MA is approaching closer and closer, and I think we're gonna retest it. The only thing is, this week we have earnings and we see what happens and how the market reacts. But here, I have no idea what it's gonna do. One can argue as a strong support, one can say it's the support's gonna break. I have no idea, but personally, in the longer run, I do see this going down to at least test the 200 MA, and then we see how the market reacts. Same with Google also. And so Google, Microsoft earnings today are something I'm looking forward to. That will let us know. And if Google by any chance dips on earnings, it's not going to be good for Amazon or Apple. I think they're going to dip along with it today, right? So that'll be fun to see. And with this, guys, just manage well. No need to go heavy. And in this market, because we're getting some violent swings both sides, you can get paid really well to either side if you're if your entry is right. Your entries will matter a lot in this market. All right, and thank you so much, and we'll see you guys back in the chat, live on voice chat.